Hi, everyone. You all look amazing from here. You too, Francesco. I was getting advice about this talk, and everybody came to me and said, like, you should do it in Spanish, but I'm going to spare you from that. I'm going to share 5 lessons I learned over the last 15 years from the early days at Xbox to the present at YouTube. First one is about management. I became a manager for the first time right after HAS at Xbox, and I had a hard time setting expectations for my team. I was thinking about the way they were approaching their work, and my problem was that I was putting myself in their shoes and thinking, how would I have done it myself? And that made me a micromanager, and people were frustrated, and I was frustrated myself. But then I realized that as I was looking at their work, the best way to go about it was, hey, you have a talented team. They're going to approach things very differently than you do. There's not just one way, but actually that's going to lead to a better outcome. Funnily enough, the same thing has happened with my kids. And as I see them grow up, I should have learned this lesson at work, but I start to judge them based on how I thought or remember I did that when I was their age, which is not a great way to go about it. And when I realized, they were going to act in different ways, and the world is different right now, and they were going to have different opinions, things got a lot better. Second lesson around mission and passion. It's very exciting to follow a great leader, but one thing that great leaders have in common is that they have a great mission that people are going to follow and get excited about. I was very fortunate to work in the early days at Xbox, at Zynga, and YouTube, and it was very infectious. The energy, the passion that people had for the mission was really, really, really great. And it made the way we were working, it was not a job. It was actually something bigger, a labor of love. I had also the fortune in 2017 to visit Detroit. And we went on a leadership training, and we met with the community leaders. We met with people all around the place. And I was very blown away. Detroit is in redevelopment and in regrowth, to see the resilience and the optimism of people there. And I was most impressed. I met a guy called Kali Sweeney. He put together a place called the Downtown Boxing Gym. It's an after-school program for kids in need where they learn math, computer science, music, and so forth. But he has a great philosophy. It's called Books Before Boxing. So he realized that kids were going to have a hard time telling people, hey, I'm going to go to an after-school program. So what they teach them is say, hey, guys, no, you're coming to the gym. You're coming to learn how to box. The program is killing it. I mean, it's growing like crazy. It's oversubscribed. And just by reframing the narrative, he got people very excited about what he was doing. Pay it forward. This is one of my most, the favorite ones. People know the concept. I have been fortunate to experience it a couple of times. The first time when I was at Xbox and came back to the Bay Area to work at Zynga, someone said, hey, Manuel, you should meet this VC. You're going to enjoy talking to him. I said, well, I just landed here. I'm busy with my work, but you know what? Of course, I'm going to meet him. I sat down for lunch, and throughout the entire conversation, this is a person I just was meeting for the first time, he asked me at least 3 times, if not more, how can I help you? And I was blown away. I went back home, and I was reflecting on it, and I went to my wife and said, hey, a person I just met had asked me 3 times without anything interested or to get back from me, how can I help you? And I realized that I could embrace that and embrace that culture. And as I went on with my life, when kids from my high school in Venezuela called me, when people from HAS called me, I started to take the meetings and said, how can I help? Unintentionally, that has led to amazing advisory opportunities, investment opportunities, new job offers. In a more mundane and simplistic way, I also experienced Pay It Forward as I was driving from Berkeley to Palo Alto. I was going through the Barton Bridge, Highway 84. It was bumper to bumper. I was spending like 30 minutes in traffic, and I was annoyed, right? And then I get to the toll booth, and the car in front of me takes what seemed like an eternity to pay. I'm like, come on, you were in line for like 30 minutes, and you didn't have your cash ready. I should have had a fast track. But then when I got to the booth, the person told me that the car in front of me had paid it for me. So I feel like a jerk. But then all my frustration turned into happiness, and I was smiling. And I realized that you could make that small change for people in your life. And now every now and then, when I cross the booth, the toll, I pay for someone behind me, and hopefully they're smiling too. This one, anybody watch the movie Moneyball? Okay, it's a great movie. It's about metrics and baseball. I've never seen the power of a single measurable goal as the power of it as I saw it at YouTube. In 2012, the team met to discuss and deliberate what's the most important thing we need to track and measure. And a lot of discussion and a lot of debate went in, but the big thing that people discussed and agreed to was we need to measure a way the way in which we're delivering value to our users. How do we deliver that value to our users, and how can we measure that? And we ended up with a metric around satisfaction and engagement and bundle it together. But the most amazing thing that we did is that in 2012, we set a very crazy and ambitious goal of what we wanted to hit in 2016. It was that focus and that single, simple, measurable goal that was easy to communicate to everybody that allowed us to, 4 years later, meet something that, by all standards in 2012, looked impossible. As the organization grew to thousands of employees, everybody knew what that goal was. And that shows you the power of focus and actually having a goal that people can understand. And last but not least, some familiar faces there, just remember what we do, everything we do. It's really about the people. It's about the people who are around you, the people who support you, the people who are always there cheering from you, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers. When we're grinding, when we're working super hard and we don't know what to do, just remember, cherish the moment with the people who are around you and enjoy life. Thank you.